These are balls from Russia. Very precious they are. And they make a sound that goes like trench. These is a mistletoe, but it is used by troops in the cannon war. This is a cannon fodder. It fudders in the cannon war with its nose like a poppy seed. It does all of this after the 100 days indulgence. But is that blessed? The wide questions of Tara and her tiara. Are they true? These are the Ginnies, bonny and pretty now, but their bleachers are gone. Gone with the bee into the beehive. This is Napoleon's, and these Napoleons are in those rowdy drunken inn-houses. This is a Wellington museum. By the splinters of the cork, I'm gonna order the fire here. Tanere, Tanero! The bull by the bull's ear! I'm gonna order the fire here. It won't just be a play fire, it will be a real fire unless you pay me and give me a tip, or I'll nap. This is the art of camels and the battle of Flodens. This is the sulfur in action, and they're all of their mobility, which causes a burns of panic. This is a battle of Armageddon. Art is to lose. Battle of Armageddon. This is a Wellington cry. Brum, brum, bring us brum, come, brum. This is the Ginny's cry of the Ginnies. Underwitter, the goats will strip the lambs of their Finland homeland. Then the Ginnies run away to their lists, their onsets of bunker shields. What are bunker shields? Bunker shields are bunks. Bunkers underground. That are like heels, a dough away. They do wane and wan. With a nap and a trip so airy. For the heart's right there. Now give me a tip. This is me from Belgium saying thank you. Now you've given me a tip, so thank you. Here's a silver plate for the children, and the crepes for them are in the cool little canister down there. Pay the poor and poor the pay. This is from Bismarck, Otto von Bismarck, when he went to a merry marathon where there were Ginnies, but the Ginnies were left behind them. This is a Wellington brand, which we wish to be the same as a memorial of the tallows of ravens, which scoop up sophisticated Keepo. For Keepo is going to his royal diversion, which consists of runaway Ginnies. Gambarist della Poca, Dalaveras Furias. This is the poorest of the Napoleons. He's a toffee thief, and he's a spy from the Wellington, from his big white horse, who lives in the Cape of Hope. Stonewall here is an artifact from the Wellington Museum. It's in an old dedication, documentary in fact, that is very waxy. Napoleons are nice and hung like bucklers. This is a hyena, laughing hyena-wise, aloud at the Wellington Museum. This is a lip-syncing donkey, creaking and cranking and doing all sorts of things to the liveliness of the things that the hyenas like. This is a Hindu named Saimar Shin. He is in between the stance of the donkey boy who duels out everything, settles everything by a duel, and hyena-like behavior. Now give me a tip. This is a waxy old picket from the Wellington Museum who is up half the price in comparison to the hat foiled 3 times, the hat of the Napoleons from the mound of Finnegan, which is all but blooded filth. This is a Hindu getting mad like a Ranji because he subed a bomb. This is a Wellington, owner of the Wellington Museum, who wants half of the hat of Napoleon's to be up the tail, so it could be on the buck side of the big white horse. Now give me a tip. Big white horse. Arse. That was the last joke of Wellington. Hit myself for making a joke. This is the same white horse of the Wellington. Pope comes and help us, waggling his tail, scrubbing with the half of the hat of Napoleon's, to insult the Hindu who is on top of a boy that sees. When the hyenas go, Hanaiya, Hinaiya, Henaiya, but the bull turned into a rag because of the hyenas. That was not fair. That was a foul. This is a boy that sees. He sees that the true nature of the Hindus is in their sacred texts, of the Mandra Satras. He sees that pumpkins jump up, not. It is the people who pin like a pump who jump up. Now this is all the cry to the Wellington Museum. The cry of the nationalist, Apukara Pakayurap. This is a Wellington man, born in a stable, and who became a gentleman. The botch of matches is a sign that cures the Hindu of his anger. The Hindu was named Saimar Shin. But the true sucker is you instead, said the woman. You don't give me a tip? Bah to you. This is the doof. This is the fool who is for Mistress Cathay's husband. But the boy sees this, and he blows the whole of the half. He blows all the half of the Napoleon hat off of the top of the horse's tail to tell Miss Cathay that her husband is in love with him. Now give me a tip, or the game will come to a bullseye-like end. Now I won't tell you how Copenhagen ended, because you did not give me a tip. This way to the museum, mind your boots, for they might go out. After this long speech, the people who attended Finnegan's wake finally said, "Phew, that was exhausting." What a warm time we were in there when Finnegan was alive. But now, we are feeling here, it is airy and cold. Nowhere, not even the wife of Finnegan lives, but you must not tell anyone, for the lamp of the lantern that jigs around will be destroyed. It's a house lit by candles of a month and one, for there's wind. Downtown, high downtown, and numbered quaintly, is mine house next to Finnegan's, and there's such reasonable weather there too, but perhaps that's because it bears a memory of Finnegan. The vagrant wind waltzes around the down points of every pilt, and on every blasted nolly rock. If you can spot 50 nolly rocks, I spy 4 more. Some birds are very gnarly. Gnarly birds only run a little. They hardly do anything. They don't pray at all. They don't pour anything into their mouths. They never wipe themselves. They never kick. But their heads are never severed. Yet they still eat hardly anything. They hardly whine, and they can't do anything. Whenever they're divided, they're never divided in two. For half is impossible with a gnarly bird. A quarter is possible, a whole is possible, but not half. A gnarly bird hardly pelts at all. There is a land full of tables, very much full of tables, and there are fields of bards making poetry, yet the poems are very bleak. Under the 7 wonders of the shield that are very angry lies one wonder, Finnegan, the lump of roars. His glove is beside him, but his skin is turning red. Our pigeons, a pair of them, are flown for the cloists of the north. 3 of the crows have decided to go south instead, because the debacle of it all, and the carters of the sky heard the tribes answer that they should go south. But wail, it does well. But why is that a bad thing if it was well? Wail, 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 we will only know. For she never comes out when a ton of people are on shower, or when a ton of people flash with their Nixie girls, or when a ton of people start blowing the cracks down tombs. And all the Gaels of Ireland, there are a ton of them now. No. The tribal chant goes, no. A tribal curse on you while you live, because she would be too moochy when she's scared, when she's fretting. Bury my leg, and bind my rolling eyes, says he, and all the dead are in the deed. For people are woeful, fee-fo-fum. She just hopes buys will be buys. Here, we now see she comes, fugling away peace, a bird of parody, a mother of pot, hairiness around like her, pringling away pickiness, like an island skipping around, with a pee-wee powwow in her big bag, on her biggie back, and a flick little flask being flung out like a fleck. Out of her fairy lighting compromises, and her boughs are humming, picking here, pecking there, like a little raiding cat. But it's the things involving her arms tonight. Milton is a mere pukul, and to mourn we wish to do, for a muddy little kinsman is now gone, and the Minutemen workers, minute, say there's to be a gorgeous truce for happiness, and there will be children everywhere. There will be truce for happiness, children everywhere. HCE. Come, tribal man, to me, and Susal will sing the day. We realize we shall celebrate, for at least Sally is bright. She's burrowed and buried and dead, and the coacher's headlight cries better now, but at least Sally was right during her lifetime. Sally goes cute and becomes a sucker. when she's dead, and suits around, and all the goods taken away from her go into a knapsack. Cartridges and rattling buttons, spatulas and maps, spatulas that nap, and flasks from different nations, claviers and things that make you stamp, keys and piles of wood, and pennies made of hay, and brooches led by the moon, brooches of birds who are nocturnal, with blood-stained gaps in their bodies, like a Boston garter of the night, and masses and sets of shoes, and knicky-knacks, and befuttered people, all named Michael, and an ugly person who is holding capes, and much cheers, however may have been, and maggots, and midgets, and elves, and elms, and people with ill will, with lots of little toffees, and plethoras of bells, and the last sigh that came from the heart of Finnegan. Buck lied. He said that would never happen. All of these were the spoiled goods that went into Sally's knapsack, and the fairest sin she did the last day of her life was she saw the sun, yep, that's correct, and she kissed it. And she kissed it. And her life ended, and she was slain. But Sally had a relative, Anne, Finnegan's wife, and how beautiful and true to wife was Finnegan to his wife. When, strangely with strength forbidden, she was to steal our presents of past lives, we were not allowed to steal our historic presents from the past. This was after the prophecy was made that we shouldn't do that. So, the prophecy was made to make us all lordy heirs, and maids and ladies. We would be lords of a great castle, which turned out the castle was merely a pretty nice kettle of fruit. Now, Finnegan's wife is living in the midst of debt, and she is laughing through, though she implores us that her birth is uncontrollable. She has a napkin for her mask. And on the Sabbath day, she is kicking the arias of an opera, so say her. She does that, but she is so hard. If you ask me, and I sack you from your position, how I shouldn't have done that, because now, the wife of Finnegan is almost horrid. She picks up Finnegan's dead body and feeds it to the new generation. Bricks may rise, and Troy, sir, may fall, like trousers fall, for there are two definitions of that phrase. For high and Providence, there's always two ways to get there. That's what makes life worth living, but it's also what makes life worth leaving. And the world's a cell for critters to cut into. Let young women run away with the story, and let young men talk smooth behind the butler's back. But the story of the death of Finnegan is certainly true. Finnegan's wife knows her night's duty, while even Luntum sleeps. "Did you say Bennington?" says Luntum. "Did I what?" she says with a grin. And we all like a married Anne, because she is a mercenary to another country. Though the length of the land lies under liquidation, all caused by the liquid flute, and there is not a row of hair, or even a bushful of severed eyes, on this glorious place of her soft, where she shoved water, and the welter of water as well. There, she will loan a visit from somebody, and there she will hire some Pete of a guy and search the stores for cockles to heat Finnegan's body, and she'll do all the turf woman can to piff the business of eating Finnegan's body on. Paff. Paff, paff, paff goes the noise. But what is piffing the business on isn't merely puffing the blaziness of the fire on. Puff, puff goes the noise. And even if the Humpty Dumpty cosmic egg shall fall for the umpteenth time, like Frumenty Frumpty, awkwardly he shall fall again, and the beard shall be Boosalam. For all of our grand demonstrations we try to do yet again, and because the cosmic egg falls, there'll be eggs for the breakfast people who come to mourn him. Sunny side up, will Humpty Dumpty be, with care. So too is it that everywhere there is a turnover, and the cosmic egg dies. But the tears are wet too. And when you think you catch sight behind, make sure but you're cocked in by him. Then the wife of Finnegan is on her job involving behavior of a certain kind of brandy. She plays a flute for her firstlings and takes her teeth from the church. We may take our review of the 2 mounds of Finnegan's body, but we see nothing of the himples here. We see it as if it's as horrible as elsewhere. Like 6s and 7s lay the body of Finnegan, like so many male seagulls and clones, sitting around, breathed with scent, and some even breathed to the peak, in their swish-a-wish satins, and their tights full of taffy, playing a game called Wharton's Folly on a pretty little tree in the plank that is in the park. Stand up, Maclose. Make straight for your love, Ninnis. By order, Nicholas is proud, and the victorious are too. We may see and hear nothing, if we choose to be short-lettered beings from Corkhill, or beggars from Arborhill, or beggar gamblers of Summerhill, or beggin' killers of Misery Hill, or people who are bossed around by the country people who are not gone now, and live in the hill where constitutions are made, though every crowd has several tones in it, and every trade has its clever idiosyncrasies, and each harmonica has a point of its own, for Olaf is on the rise, and his successor Ivor is on the left, waiting to be the new king, and Citrix places it between them for an interregnum. But all they are but mere scrapes along the sneeze that a likelihood will solve and save life's robbing troubles, hopping around the middle like kippers on a griddle. This answer goes around, and as Finnegan lays dormant like a huge macroborg that holds hard, he looks like a microberg of the Pied Piper. Behold the sound of Irish sense. Really, here English might be seen, for royally is he really. One sovereign of England, penned and punned, for this is a pun in itself, that pretty is pence and money. But is this regularly? The silence speaks the scene. But is it really fake that this resting place of Finnegan is Dublin? Hush! Caution! This is a land of echoes. It is charmingly exquisite. It reminds you of the extravagance that was washed out.